Welcome back to Dan's Messy Garage. This is going to be day 32 working on Project Betty, the 76 Monarch. I'm going to start right in with sanding the runs out of the door. I'm going to sand the runs down with 400 first with the guide coat on there. And then I'm going to go to 800 to get it ready for another coat of clear. This is right where I left off on day 31 and I had to walk away. So I'm going to hope that this day goes better than the last three have. But I don't know if it's going to. Looks like I just sanded through the clear into the paint right here and there. I'll have to continue on to see how bad it's going to be. Looks like I just went through it again there. I didn't expect to sand through the clear this easy. I mean, it's not a giant deal. This is going to need another coat of paint on it because I am going through the clear and hitting the white. It's actually a decision. If I'm already hitting the white, I got to repaint this. I'm going to get the dents out of the door. I mean, it's got door dings in it. I've been putting it off. It's time to do it. Since I'm decided to get the dents out of the door, I'm going to use a body filler to do that. That means I need to sand the door with a more aggressive paper. I have 280 on here. I'm just going to sand it down until I find the low spots and then fill them in. Now, I've been avoiding doing this. I wasn't going to paint the door to begin with. I painted it. Now I got to repaint it, so it's time to buck up and do it right, get the dents out. In fact, I could take my whatchamacallit, Air DA, finishing DA, and get this done quick. I will. I have some 100 grit on here, and this should sand it pretty quick. It's day 32 playing around with a car that shouldn't have taken anywhere near this long. I'm going to speed things up. I'm going to put some guide coat on the door here as I sand it. It'll show off the low spots quicker. Okay, I'm going to give that a couple of minutes to dry and then time lapse. The door is sanded. Those are high spots. Those dark ones are low spots. That's where the door dings are, all in that area. So I'm going to put a fine coat of filler on there, but first I need to get the guide coat off the paint I'll use, I don't know, I'll start easy, go with starting fluid because that doesn't attack anything. See if it gets the guide coat off. Yep, taking it right off. So I'm going to continue to clean this area up, and I'll get the filler, spread it on there, and bring you back. Smeared some filler on those door dings, and while I continue to sand on the runs here, I want to tell you what I found out and what I deduced and what I'm going with. The internet search that I did and research told me that the problems that I've had with all these runs are temperature related, more specifically sheet metal temperature and the reducer that I was using. I was using a slow reducer. Slow reducers are normally used in, summertime temperatures when you want things to slow down or not dry so fast. Well, this temperature was probably only, let's say, 60 degrees. And the reducer is made for 80 degrees or so. But in a case like that, this poor clear coat didn't have a chance. Neither did the paint. It got too thin from the reducer, and it just ran and dripped and sagged. So it's temperature related, and I was using the wrong reducer. So when I redo this, I have to get the garage a lot hotter, more specifically the metal hotter. I'm going to shoot for 70 degrees on the metal. Let me see what it is right now. Okay, this is at 69 here. So the heat's going to have to get higher than it is now. And I'm just taking temperatures of the, things in the garage, and it's 70, 71. I'm going to have to turn that heat up before I paint and clear coat this again. See, I have an electric furnace, and I was avoiding getting things too warm in here because, it's electric and uses a lot of electricity, especially when I got to leave the heat on 24 hours a day. So I'm going to continue to sand this, get all these runs out of here. Now, what I'm really trying to do, above this character line, I don't want to have to paint. I really am trying not to go through up here where I'm sanding these runs right now. Down here, that's okay, because I'm going to paint from this body line down. And if I sand through the paint here, that's all right. I got to paint the door anyways. Probably a spot or two on the fender. And I think I'm yakking way more than I'm working. So I'm going to get back to working. I have those runs sanded out of the clear. It's down to 800. It's nice and smooth. I'm going to sand the door area now where I put the Bondo on for the door dings. Let's see if it's ready to be sanded or not. Well, I'm not seeing dust. I am seeing it clog the paper. Not ready to be sanded. So I'm going to move on to sanding other parts of the car until this dries. Got those door ding area sanded down good enough. Put a little primer on there. Now I'm going to continue to sand the side of the car. Got the side of the car sanded down. I'm going to cover it up with plastic from here up so I can paint from here down. I'm closer to getting paint on here. I have the plastic taped where I don't want paint to go. I have the first initial clean done on this to get the sanding dust off. And I'm going to do the couple more cleans on it. And I'm going to attempt to spray it without runs. I also have the front stone deflector laid up on the hood that's sanded, ready to accept the paint. I hear you. Shut the hell up and get to work. Okay. In preparations this time, right now it's windy, it's cold outside, single digits. There's probably 6 inches of snow. Nasty day. But I don't want to open the door and blow all the dust out of here, because then the heat goes away and temperature of the metal goes down and blah blah. So I got a bucket of water and dumped it on the floor, spreading the water out to help keep the dust down. And I'm gonna paint it. And I'm gonna hope that I can get the coats on thin enough that they don't run. The plan is to first do the prime sections with a coat or two to cover them up before I put more paint on. I may be having an issue here that I really don't want to have. This is all the paint I have left. Just put a dipstick in there. And I have, if I can put a paint mark there, I have that much in there. So if that was full, that's less than a quart of paint. And I need to mix it up 4-1-1. I will add 10% clear to that. But if I just use metric system, because it's easier, if that was 180 millimeters of paint in a full can, I'm at 45, so yeah, I have a quart of paint left. I can't use all that paint right now because I still need some for touch-ups on the rest of the car. I'm debating which spray gun to use. Do I use my little one or my regular, not the big gun, but my normal DeVilbiss gun? In case somebody want to know, that was a GFG-517. It's an old gun. I paid a lot for it back in the day. It's been working good. This is a cheap gun. It came 2 guns in a box, this in a bigger one. I broke the cup on the bigger one, so I just have this little one. And it seems to work well. Disadvantage here is when you clean it, you got to clean the whole inside of it out with paint. This one, you put a plastic bag in it, and you're only cleaning a small area of the gun. So it's easy to clean up. That's made to come apart 1,000 times. This is not. I'm at that stage of the process where you got to figure out how much paint you're going to need. It's 4-1-1 mix. I'm looking at the car. mainly going to do some touch-up areas and then a light coat everywhere, plus that stone deflector up there on the hood. This will hold about, let's say 22, 24 ounces of mixed. And I know I can paint a lot more than this side of the card with that thing full. So I'm going to go for maybe half or 14 or 16 ounces of mixed product. So if I use 8 ounces of paint, then I would use 2 ounces of hardener and 2 ounces of the reducer. That's 12. Plus, I'm going to use a little bit of the clear coat. That's only going to be 13 or 14. I'm going to do that first. And then if I need more, I'll mix it. But I'm going to start with 8 ounces of paint and then the appropriate amounts of everything else.
Everything's ready. I'm going to spray for a few seconds and then get out of here. Got the paint in the gun. I decided to use the big gun, obviously. Really trying to refrain from putting too much on. Because I know how much this likes to run. Okay, as hard as it is for me, I'm going to walk away. Time for a second coat. It's been over a half an hour. Okay, that's all there is to it. I go to walk away for about 45 minutes. Maybe I'll go have some lunch.
I'm going to spray the third coat on there now. The second coat's covering pretty good. I think I have enough paint in my gun to give this a couple more coats. And I'm not going to bore you with all that. I'm just going to say that this is going to be the end of day 32, working on Project Betty, the 76 Monarch in Dan's messy garage. Come back for day 33 to find out how this turns out. Have a good evening.